nice to have you here. The idea is the following, that, with TBWA we have been working with something that we call the disruption strategy workshop kind of framework for 25 years for very successful companies like Apple before, and now for Twitter and for Airbnb. And our idea is that because you are potentially successful companies like that, and we want to accelerate your, forward movement, so we want to give all these tools and these methods so that, you can just grab them and use them without, coming to us and paying us or something like that. Because I think that knowledge like that, this should be shared. And when we share stuff, it's easier to use. And the basic, tools are very simple. It's more like a philosophy than just tools. It's all about thinking about the world in a certain way. First of all, it's about identifying conventions. It's looking at stuff that everybody's doing and then try to break some of those. So the basic thing is such that, we identify conventions, look what everybody in a category or everybody in a certain, field is doing, then build a vision what would be a more inspiring, different way of doing things within that category, and then go for the disruption there. So we are not using disruption as a general term describing how the world is changing in a really fast way. We are rather using it in a more active way. We are kind of creating disruption in places that are still too stuck, in a way. I give you just kind of, a few kinds of examples, because the disruption can either be at the core of things. If you have a great startup or a company, you probably have a product idea or a company idea that's already disruptive, but you might be in a field that's very competitive, so everybody's still doing the same thing there. Then you can do, in a communications level, still things in a different way. So let's say that, you have a very good idea. You're somebody like, Elon Musk, and you have the Tesla idea. So your core idea is very disruptive. That could be the case. Or then your core idea is not that disruptive. You're just changing a little bit the way you are selling stuff or pricing stuff, like low-cost airlines are doing. Or then you might be somebody like Red Bull. You have very generic product, basically like a soft drink that's supposed to be you feel refreshed, but you're marketing it in such a way that's very disruptive. So it can be basically on three levels. So the disruption can be on the level of the business model, it can be on the level of the products and services, and it can also be on the level of marketing communications. Because we come from a communications background, we typically look at companies and see that they might have brilliant ideas on the business model or product, but they are not communicating them in a different and interesting enough way. And we are trying to encourage you to do that. Companies like Airbnb or Twitter come to us and say, damn, we have a great service now, but we are lacking a little bit. We need an emotional connection, we need values, we need to, build on this thing. And therefore, the most important thing in disruption thing is to know what you stand for. How are you different? What is, what are you really working for? So I'm giving you a few examples, but very typically, like this is the founder of Airbnb, this Brian, and when he came to us, he said that, I would really want you to help, us to build Airbnb into a bigger thing into people's life. But, I'm not sure, because, you only do TV advertising and this kind of stuff, and it's like a new time and we need to do new kinds of things. But when you come back to it, it's not about the channels. It's about, the heart and what you think about the world and your perspective in a way. So yes, in the new world, it's very much about the product. So if the product is great, yes, you will become famous, at least for a while. And yes, it's true that marketing shouldn't be at the core of the innovation. And yes, it's true that experience is everything. And the community will take things and make them spread. And yes, it's true that you need to look at new consumption models. But at the same time, if you are not doing something like Steve Jobs was doing there, you become just one of the great new things that could be done, instead of being something really great and unique. And the tools that I want to share with you are tools to help you come up with that. A very typical problem with new companies is that you might have a good new business idea or a product idea. And it is good, but people don't really get it because it's a little bit difficult and a little bit new and things like that. And because they don't really know what you stand for, they don't have any particular reason to take it. For example, Slack is another good example of those. There's lots of services like Slack. easier ways to kind of bypass email and work in teams in a smarter way. But the problem is that people don't really care about them. I don't care whether I use this platform or the other one, so they are now working hard to build reasons to like them. Okay, now we'll go almost into services, but I'm explaining there are three things that we help companies do. The first is the strategy part, and we are today working a lot on this. I'm also showing a little bit of the two other parts, which is the live model and the innovation model. But the strategy part is this part that we define what is our vision, what's our what's our thing that Steve Jobs think different thing was for them. What are the conventions, how we break them? It's a set of tools. It's not difficult, typically, but it's very difficult to do to your own company. So today you are not doing it for your own company, you are doing it together for a new imaginary thing so that you learn these tools. Then you can go back and you can do it for yourself once you learn these kind of tools. Then disruption on live is something that, because these days we have things like social media, there's constant stream of things you can do. It's then a methodology when you know what you stand for, how to push it out every day, all the time. And then the innovation part is then something that, even though you might have a really boring product in a very boring category, you could still do some symbolic innovations that will make you stand out. But let's work on the strategy part today. I think that's kind of enough. Now to disruption strategy, and basically is the convention part, the vision part, and then is the disruption part. I'll warn you, the convention part is very, very easy. You take whichever business and you can easily identify three top conventions. Let's take, for example, airline travel. Everybody knows that, it's terrible, you need to queue to, first of all, pricing is never transparent, you have to be in very uncomfortable situations, the food is bad, it's cramming, it's terrible. There are lots of things that's easy to combine. It's also very easy to find a vision. For example, in this case, it would be really nice if traveling would be almost like, teleportation, that, you would just go there easy like that. The difficult thing is to come up with the disruption that actually makes this possible. What's realistic enough and possible enough. But still, if you do the vision part right, if you look at the vision and it's bold enough, you might find a way. So I'm just warning you, when we do these exercises, the convention part will go really easily. The vision part, you need to push a little bit, but the disruption part is really difficult. But I try to help you as much as possible with that. Then the next thing is around vision. So when you have the convention part, you are mainly looking at today. What is wrong in the category? What is kind of, pissing off people, what could you bring to that? The vision part is all about the future. What things are happening in the thing, what's going on in the world, in a technology way, socially, politically, culturally, that could potentially, kind of break the category. Is there some new technology that would make it, not necessary to wait online? Could there be a cultural phenomenon where people want to kind of share stuff instead of, kind of owning them? And then business hacking, you can also look around you. There might be a neighboring category that's doing a great thing. Like these days, everybody's trying to do the Uber of something. But that's okay in this. If you're in a category which is really old-fashioned and boring, you can bring in some models from another category that's more inspiring. That's also allowed. And then you do the actual vision composing. So then you need to kind of pretend that you're a little bit like, Steve Jobs, where he's, kind of explaining that how he really admires people that go their own way and think differently and blah, 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 all of that. So the vision part is, what would be a worthy goal that would make employees, customers, and investors believe in us, be inspired with us, and all of this. I'll make you go into, I think, 3 or 4 groups. We'll do it short, but I'll do the brief first. So the brief is that we'll have a mini disruption. We'll do the work of I would say, a month for Apple or 6 weeks for Airbnb, because you're so smart, you can do it in 2 hours. And you go into groups of 4 to 5 people, don't be more than that. Then you need to pick one category of business that's ripe for disruption. Take some stupid business that's out there that's done in a bad way. Identify the top 3 conventions that everybody is doing, that's kind of habitual, that everybody needs to be doing, and that's kind of old-fashioned or stupid. Describe what pisses people off in this category. So try to go into the pants or minds of the customer and try to be like, what do they hate about this category? Then either name a new company or then imagine that you're an existing company that moves into this space. This is very important. Spend some time on this. Create an inspiring vision on this place. Don't think about words or wording. You know, it's not about a slogan or it's not about a vision statement. It's more about how you see that the category could be. What it would be in an ideal world where nobody would be pissed off and everybody would be really excited and you would really like to work in a company to move these things forward. Describe your disruption. What are you going to go differently? What convention are you going to break? What thing are you going to do in a wrong way? This is super important.
On that day, we ended up dying poor.
And then you describe the disruption. What is the thing that you really do differently? And then you just present it.
Like these are like one kind of important things.
And the prices are really low. Like you buy a kilo of tomatoes for €1, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not the total price.
Know the total price.
Yeah,
so the total cost of the thing.
Yeah. That you get every month, you get certain amount of razor blades, or that you get amount of socks, or you get amount of like I don't know underwear.
Yeah.
But we do the same for the food that you normally need for. I like that.
And then you kind of leave up with something that raises the hope again. Kind of say, hey, what if you could change learning?
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
If you know what you're after and it seems that you know, I would be happy with that. I wouldn't spend more time on, it looks perfect,
How about like the paperwork, like when you buy the car or sign, like they have a lot of different kind of papers.
And first you have to give the kind of playground or the battlefield, which is teaching. Okay, we want to rethink teaching. And then the last slide was very good. Never run out of there. Problems, we have challenges, we have time, the repetition, but it should be something like, is it not anymore? Not anymore.
Ja kun ammattisijoittajat ja ihmiset katsoo niitä ammatiksi, ne ei halua tietyllä tavalla kuulla niitä niin detaljeja ja asioita, vaan sen oikean ongelman ratkaisun ja sen kiteytyksen.
Now what you all done, as Marco has asked, you come up with the conventions and the problems and the solution. And what we did with everyone, we turned it around. So we say, this is the problem, this is the solution, this is the value proposition, and this is why we should continue. So instead of like wasting the listener's time with all the problems of the world and your problems, because they're not my problems, and your problems, you get to the point fast. And now when you present, try to avoid too much information. So don't fall in love with your own ideas and all the possibilities with the solution, because that's just details. We're just interested whether we have like world-changing idea or not.
Okay, as we know, the world has been like this for learning for at least over 1,000 years. Lecturing, linear fashion. You start with a slide after slide after slide. You sit down on your buttocks. What learning is then? Actually, learning is like planting a tree in a forest. It starts to grow, it appears to be linear, but actually it is exponential. What if there was a way for you to create your own way of learning, your own learning platform? Well, we have the solution for you.
We are investing in this.
Yes!
It's called Planet, the playground of learning networks. Playground where you can play around with your ideas, with your aspiration, with your ambition, with your passion, and go grow and wander there where you just want to be. So instead of sitting bored in the class, buttocks aching, hours of sitting, what if you could really make your own learning exponential? With the planet you can. Thank you.
It seems like there's nothing to eat at home.
Yes.
You're basically lacking all the core necessities that you should have there every day. Well, to have those core necessities at the moment there every day, it takes time. You need to go to the grocery store to buy them. Or if you don't want to go to the grocery store, you can order them, but that'll cost a lot of money. And imagine that you need to do these both, either way you choose. You need to do it all the time, day after day, week after week, to get those necessities to your home.
I'm hating my life already. Okay.
The great thing is, you don't need to hate your life, at least not anymore, because Feud will take care of you. Feud will take care of your food, your every necessities, through this kind of subscription-based food delivery system that will bring food to your home, to your doorstep every week, on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, or a monthly basis. And the great thing is that our service will get to know you. We will know that, okay, this certain person, Ville, needs beer every Friday, a 6-pack cold to his door.
Well, 6 packs more.
After a few weeks, we'll learn that it'll be a 12-pack. And on Saturday morning, he'll need some frozen pizzas there. And so on. So with Feud, you will never run out of food again.
Yes, we are investing. Yes.
So what if you could use an Uber without a driver? So you don't have to pay the salary to the driver, and you don't have to hurry because the Uber driver is calling, and you still need some time to make up. And we at Just Drive are developing a product that is basically an Uber, but you can drive yourself, and you can go to the coffee shop to buy your morning coffee when you're going to the morning flight to the airport, and then you can just leave the car to the airport parking, and somebody else is going to take it when he comes back in the afternoon. So basically, you don't have to hustle anymore. The cost estimation is like in Uber. So basically, there's a calculator that tells you how much it's going to cost to go to the airport. Picking up and returning the car is easy. You have an app where you can see cars on the map, and exact estimation of the rental time, you don't have to do that because you can use the car as much as possible, and then when you're done, you just lock the doors and leave the car wherever you want.
You're right, everybody hates rental car companies.
Yes.
They are, full of shit. Yes.
Yes.
So with our solution, you can drop and pick up the car whenever you want and wherever you want. And also you can see where is the nearest car and ask from the other user to get it for you. And this all is possible with our app. And we have a lot of different kind of functions in our app which makes your renting more easier.
Yeah, so through the map you can see the map where is the nearest car and the nearest gas stations as well. Then the app works as a key for these car doors, and then you don't have to worry about the extra hours. You can use the car as long as you want, and through your own personal profile you can connect with other users, give feedback them and discuss and chat about them, and of course as well ask them to bring the car where you are. They are able to do that. And then there is the calculator which gives you the exact estimation of the total costs, including gas and stuff like that. So relax, everything is ready for you.
Okay, we'll buy. Yes. As a short wrap up, as you can see, this is typically the thing that is not being done. So the reason why this disruption thing has been so successful by companies like Twitter and even like Airbnb is coming to us is that even them, and they are quite successful, they still feel we need to be working harder on this.
Yes.
Because competition is getting harder. You need to have your own story really crystallized. So I think that, in most companies, people do, halfway the thing. They kind of think about these things, but they are not brutal enough. They are not hard enough. And these kinds of tools will help you. I'm sharing the material. You can use it, and we are arranging more of these. Please join us. We are also working next, I hope, something about this real-time marketing thing based on this kind of stuff. So, please join us, and thank you for being a really, really nice, engaging audience. So, thank you.
Thank you.